Hello and welcome back to the Artisfy Codecast. Today I'm going to be working on the inputjs library. We're definitely going to work on the function that lets us sync the data from one element to another. And hopefully we'll get to some of the other functions and wrap up a lot of the code. So first I'm going to start where we left off. So we made this documentation for this function, and it takes two arguments. And one of the first things it's going to do after parsing the data OKey attributes is use this data to create a flat object. So what I'm looking for now is a flatten function that I can reuse for this. And the reason being is that if I look at my output.js code, so if I go here, I export this function. This is the main function for output.js. And what it does is it loops through a root node and all of its children and assembles some data. And I can show you an example of what that data might look like. It might be as simple as just a regular object with a single key and a single value. It might be a nested object, or it might be something really complicated where we have nested arrays, and then inside of that nested objects, and then like this object itself could be in another array, which is this case right here, because down here we copy it a bunch of times and put it in an array. So it can have a pretty complex structure, and even though I imagine when we're using the input and output libraries in concert, we're probably going to have just a flat structure, right? It's probably not going to be an object in an array and an object in an array. It's probably just going to be a plain object. However, that's not going to be guaranteed, and I don't want to enforce that. So I need at least a simple flatten function that can take either an object or an array with nested arrays or objects and combine them all into a single object, overwriting any keys with if they come up more than once, just overwriting the key. Because in order to use the input-output libraries properly, you're not going to want to have the same key name. So if it gets overwritten, I'm going to say, that's your fault, you figure it out. Okay, so I guess we could give it a shot writing this for ourselves, but I was just looking up how to do this, and we've got a couple examples. So I know that we have array flat. I think this is a newer function though, because I've never heard of it before. So let's look at it real quick. Okay, so yeah, it's not even in Edge, and it's experimental. So we're not going to rely on it. Okay, so is there a way? I guess let's just start writing it, I guess, just to get the basic kind of format for it. Because I really can't find anything. I mean, this one right here will merge a list of objects, but it doesn't do it recursively. And this one, flattens Okay, yeah, okay. Yeah, that's not exactly what I want, but it's pretty close, actually. Um, yeah, so this is pretty close to what I want. And merge, I think, so it's just going to loop through, um, so this is the first object. Okay. So it's going to loop through all of the keys in the first object and add them to this object. Um, and then add the value. So, so merge. So let me just make sure if I understand what merge is going to do. So merge is going to take a list of objects like this, and it's going to turn them into something that looks like this. And I think I think it's just as easy to do that with object assign. So I think I can. I wonder when this was written. 2017. So I think what I can do is let's write this function. So we have objects. Sorry, I'm a little bit tired today, so I'm gonna, I think, be operating on a little bit lower of a caliber. Okay, so merge. We have a list of objects. Assign. I'm just going to look up the spread operator because I haven't really used the spread operator, or spread syntax, I guess. Okay, so I think that should work. So then if we do merge, we have to, okay, so that looks good. So now I think we want to I wish okay, so I think all we have to do, let's have like merge nested data into single object. And we're going to save this as an experiment. I guess we can save it in our inputjs code. Why not? Okay, so our output object is we can define up here. And let's write the code. Write the documentation strings. So to start out with, is data an object or an array? If array, loop through values and pass them into I think if object merge with return object. I don't think it can be this simple, but maybe. Okay, so data is going to be, so yeah, how do we tell if it's an object or an array? Well, we might have a helper function. No, I don't think we do, because we have DOM utils, it wouldn't be in there, and we have string functions. So we don't have any helpers that are going to be able to tell us if it's an object. I mean, the simple way is to just do a type of. Oh yeah, so yeah, okay. Okay, sorry. Okay, so okay, so we'll do like is an array, and then we'll do array is array, and we'll do data. And then we'll do is object equals, it's not an array, and type of data is object. And I'm just going to confirm that real quick. I'm like 100% sure. Yeah. And the problem is that arrays return this too. I think it's possible like this will return it too. Yeah, DOM node. Well, hopefully we don't pass any DOM nodes into this. Okay, so if it's an array, I want to look at the ES6 arrow notation, because I think I don't need to use parentheses, I think. Yeah, okay, that's cool. Okay, so we'll just say like data item, and then we will pass this in there. Now the problem with this is that it's not going to have the same return object. So yeah, I guess I have to pass in the return object. So let's say I guess we could say like output data or like final object. I guess we'll say like final object is this, and we'll have it up there, and we'll say, final object is equal to the thing that's passed in, or, a new one. Or actually, we could just default to an empty object. Okay, so then we'll pass in this here. Well, I don't know, let's call this like output. I don't know, return object is fine. Okay, return object, so is, and let's call this like nested data. I don't know. No, it's fine, just data. Because I would call it nested data, but then like we're passing it in as a data item and we don't know if it's nested data anymore. So it's a little misleading. Because it could just be like a flat object. I mean, this could be a flat object, right, for all we know. So yeah, it's not fair to call it nested data. So let's call this like merge data. Merge possibly nested data into single object. I kind of like that. But yeah, okay. We'll just do this. So we see if it's an array. If it's an array, we're going to loop over the items in the array, and we're going to call merge nested data into single object on each item, passing the return object in. So then that'll go through each item again and do the same thing and loop down, infinitely until it gets to this part. So if it's an object, then we're going to want to do something different, which is very simply an object assign. Nope. It doesn't work. Well, okay, let me just kind of see. It's not going to work, but so we would do that. Or no, sorry, we would do this. Okay, so then this would return. So like say, okay, so like let me just show one example where this doesn't work. So if we just pass in an object, A, B, C, so it's just like a triple nested object. So we're always going to get the isObject thing. We're going to do yeah. So yeah, do you see, I don't know if you see the problem. Okay, so the problem is that the first object is going to be this one. So like our return value is going to be this, right? So if we pass this into this right now, we're just going to get this back. So it's not doing what we want at all. Okay, so if it's an object, we want to loop through its keys. That makes sense. So we're going to do object keys. I can't believe I've been looking forward to doing this codecast all day, like seriously, and I'm just like so out of it. I like don't feel like doing anything. Okay, so we have this. Okay, so this gives us the keys, and now we can loop over the keys. And let's so we'll have key name, and then we have like the data value. Or can we do value here? I think we can. JavaScript reserved words. I don't know how trustworthy this site is, but whatever. Okay, value isn't one. That's cool to know. Probably should know that by now. Okay, so we'll get data, key name. So now we have the value, and now we want to check, hey, are you an object? Because if the value is an object, well, you know what we could do? I think we can just send it back through. No. Really? No. No, we need to check. So we need to check if it's an object. Huh. Let's search for like JS is object. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. I just want to know. No, I really don't care. Yeah, okay. We'll stick with ours. Okay, so we'll just say, we'll have like a function up here to check if it's an object. And we don't need this. We can just do that there. Okay, so we'll take, I don't know, value. We're using value here because we just learned it's not a reserved word. Oh shoot, I could really use this, but I don't care. I'm gonna just do it over. That's not efficient, but whatever. So if it is an array, so if it's not an array, or let's do type of first. So if type of value is equal to object, and it's not an array. So now we're going to do is object, and we'll do data. Okay. If data is an array, loop through its values, and we'll say pass each value back into this. If it's an object, yeah, that didn't end up working out. Okay, so we're gonna see, hey, is this an object? If it is, we're gonna loop through your keys. We're gonna get the value of each key. We're gonna see if that value is an object. And then, I don't know. What do we want to do if it's an object? Well, that means it's a nested object. So I don't care about it if it's a nested object. I can discard that fact. So I can just pass it into this, right? So the value is going to be this, and the return object is going to be the one that was originally set up or passed in. And then if it's not an object, what do we do in that case? Well, in that case, we could do an object assign at this point, but it's just as convenient at this point to just do return object key name equals the value. Okay, so let's write out some documentation for this. We'll say 1, we'll say A, we'll say 2, we'll say A, I don't know. Yeah, that's fine. A, and we'll say loop through its keys, if its value, if the keys value is an object, pass it back into that thing. Else add it to add its key and value, or key value pair, we could say that, key value pair to the return object. I think this might work. Not sure. I guess we could see. So let's test this thing out. Okay, no syntax errors, that's good. So what do we call it? Merge? Okay, so what if we put in what if we put in A1? Return object is not, return obj is not defined. Yeah, I guess it's a question. Do I want this to be called return obj or return object? I kind of like return obj. Okay. Merge. How do I select that? Like that? Okay. Ooh. Okay. Works with the simplest case. Let's test our complicated case of the triple nested one. Nope. It didn't work at all. I think that's probably because, well, I thought it was because we weren't passing in the return object here. I'm not sure. Oh wait, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, because like we discarded it, right? I said as much. What are we supposed to do with this? What is it equal to? It's not equal to anything, it doesn't have a value. All it has is a nested object. So this is kind of doing exactly what we wanted. It's not really merging the data, but I think it's surfacing. Yeah, it's surfacing the data. Okay, So, okay, let's turn this into a list. And let's add like another object inside this list. And we'll call this like B1. Okay, so that works. Now what if we put this first? I wonder what will happen. Huh, okay. So, yeah, I guess that's because we're totally discarding it. We're totally discarding it if it's an object. If the value is an object. Then we're discarding the, the key. So that's good. I like that. I mean, this is exactly what I wanted to happen. I actually wasn't really thinking through it that hard, if I'm being honest. Okay, now what if we do like C2? Then we should get the C2 back. Okay, that works. I guess let's like wrap this all in an object, right? And we'll assign it to like, I don't know, hello. Oh no. Okay, that didn't work. Hello. And now we have an array. Okay, so we found a case that doesn't work. Let's look at this a little bit. Okay, so if it's an array, we're looping over the array, and we're calling this on each item in the array, passing this in. Oh, is it doing this too? I think it's doing this too. I'm not sure. Let's test it. Oh no, that's not an array. Oh my goodness. I don't know. I'm just gonna blame this on being tired. So yeah, that's not an array, that's an object, so it's not gonna do that one. I swear, if like there's anyone watching this, it's just them like yelling at the screen constantly. Okay, so it's an object. We're gonna get the... Oh, it's here. This is the problem. If it's if is object. This is not what we wanted. We want if it's an object or an array. Oh man. So now I kind of like how we had it set up before, because I'm going to use a type of here. Darn. Okay. Well, oh well. Okay, let's refresh. We still got this guy. We'll save him to our clipboard. Manager. Paste this in. And then paste this in. Do we get what we want? Well, the hello is thrown away. That's perfect. What did I do? Oh yeah, I'm just using type of there. Okay. So the hello is thrown away. The only things we get are C2 and B1. I don't know. It looks like it's working. I'm very tempted to just use this now. Or an array. Pass it back into merge data into single object. Cool. Okay, so we're gonna export. I really someday need to learn the difference between like export defaults, like this, like what does that do? That's different than this. But for now, alas, I will not learn this thing. Okay, so now we've got the foundation for this. So we're gonna do import Yeah, I always like doing this. I don't like I know I could just export this function as the default, but I just like having the option of always like exporting more from that file if I feel like it later. Okay, and this function definitely needs to be renamed. Merge data, so it's more like surface keys with non-data values. No, it's not non-data, non-object values. It's not primitive because objects are primitives, right? It has primitive types. Boolean, null, undefined number, strings. Oh, okay. Surface keys with primitive values. It's not still not a good name. What should it be called? Surface keys. I kind of like it, but it's how about like get all keys with primitive values from nested data. Okay, I'll just do this one. It doesn't quite explain what it's doing, but it's good enough. Okay, so now we'll do that and that. Get all keys with primitive values. It could be renamed, it will be renamed, but it will not be renamed right now. Okay, so now what are we gonna do? We're gonna import another thing. This is my favorite, like seriously. Oh man, I did the default thing here. Oh no. Do I leave it? I think I'm gonna leave it, yeah. Okay, so do I have output.js installed here? I don't. So let's install output.js. Okay, let's go into input.js, and then we'll npm install out. Oh, where is this? Oh yeah, this isn't even its own thing yet. That's really sad. Really? I didn't make an output.js? Well, I guess we gotta search it. Let's M-N-O, nope, there's no O there. Okay, so there's no output.js library yet. That's very sad. Yeah, let's create it. Okay, so we'll do new folder. We'll do output.js. We're gonna copy some stuff from here as a starting point. Oops. Okay. We'll go in here. We'll say output.js and parse a DOM node and its children to extract data. What does it do? Gets data. Okay, parse a how about an element and its children recursively recursively grabs data from custom attributes, recursively compiles data from an element and its children, recursively gathers data from custom attributes. Boom, done. Okay, recursively crawls the DOM and gathers data from custom attributes. Good. Okay, and what do I use here? Data object from elements and DOM utils and string functions and parse data attributes. Okay, so I already have DOM utils, parse data attributes, and I just need string functions, and I don't need query.js. Let's search for this. Nope. And no. Okay. Cool. Okay, so we'll get rid of that. Let's make sure this is the right file. Yep, well, it looks like it. Okay, so string functions. I hope that was right. That all looks good. The license looks good. Here, that looks good. And what are we going to do? We're going to take this code, we're going to copy it in here. We're going to create a new file. Okay, we're going to name it that. And we're going to create another new file called parse node. We're going to paste that in there. Boom. Nice. And then if I look in here, that got stuff from there. This gets stuff from parse node gets stuff from there. Perfect. Awesome. Now, now comes the real test. Does it work? Outputjs, and we'll do an npm install. Oh man, I really love working this way. I've never had this setup before, so I feel spoiled. Like just these local modules that are all working together and like across a bunch of different, like they're interacting with each other. I'm updating them all separately, and they're all kind of meshing together. It's so sweet. Okay, so let's do this. Let's make sure I didn't include anything I didn't mean to, and I did. So let's undo that automatic commit. And we really should have a git ignore for all of these. Say like node modules. Should probably also have like, I think it's like ds_store. It's a really weird name. It's like a Mac thing. a Mac file that's just auto-generated in some folders, and you need to ignore it. Okay, so that looks good, 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 that looks good. Initial commit, that's fine. And publish. So now we're saving our code. This is the latest updated code. So we're at this point, and I'm going to forget this, but at this point I don't want to modify any code pretty much inside of data.js. All of these utils have been taken out of there. The switch has been taken out of there. Output, input, copy. These have all been taken out. So actually, I want to like rename these to like deprecated or something, but if like they each have tests in them that I still like having around. So I could like reorganize all this code, but I'm not going to do that right now. But I could reorganize it so that like I move the tests to the new repositories, but I'm not going to do that right now. And let's copy this code, and we'll create a git ignore here too. Yes. Okay, cool. So now let's look inside of inputjs. Okay, so there's one other thing I want to, so yeah, there's not a lot of new code here. I guess we did write this. That's fine. I'll just add that. Okay. Good, good, good. So now I want to go back into inputjs, and I want to do an npm install install output.js. Yeah. And they're not circular dependencies, but I don't know if that would matter. I think it might matter. Okay, so what do we want to import from output? So let's move output up. Okay. We want to import this from output.js. No, it's not like this. It's just like this. These are going to be like that, though. Yeah. Okay. I think I'm going to finish up here. But I'm going to just say like nested data. I'm just going to do like something real quick. So we got that, and then we'll say like flat data, and we'll do this. And I think that should work. So that's all I'm going to do for now. Thank you so much for watching. I'm really tired if you can't tell. I was really looking forward to doing this all day, but I think I just need to take a little rest, and I'll be back tomorrow. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.